of nutramedical grade, bioavailable coenzyme forms of B12, methylcobalamin, the same kind used in B12 injections, and adenosylcobalamin, the most bioactive form that has been created with our proprietary process. Secret 12 is...
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are broadcasting worldwide here today. We've had a couple of computer glitches today. You can hear the commercials being cut off a bit. But that computer glitch has now been fixed. We'll be able to go to your calls. Now, we have a computerized phone system with upwards of 100 phone lines. They fill up instantly, but then we have to go through the calls and find out who's really calling from Austin, Texas, and find out what topic you're on and get you on. So if you're on hold listening right now, don't hang up. We're going to get to you if you're calling from Central Texas on South by Southwest Conference. I'll be getting to that in the next segment. I want to continue with some news that's extremely important first. In fact, let's just get into this stack. USDA reports virulent strain of avian flu in Kansas poultry. The problem is this strain can jump into humans, or similar strains have, and they're extremely lethal. But if there is ever a bird flu outbreak, they'll just cover it up. I mean, I have more articles today about more Ebola cases, more scientists coming in with Ebola, more cover-ups. The media has even said, Forbes and others, that they were ordered not to report on Ebola cases in the U.S. So I don't know how bad it is. But out of sight, out of mind, it's kind of like the borders are completely wide open, and for 6 months, we didn't even know it. Until Border Patrol told us, we went down and videotaped it. And I always use that as an example. If they can do that, they can do anything. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has confirmed an infection of a virulent strain of avian flu in poultry in Kansas, the first case in the migratory bird route that runs through the center of the country. The USDA identified H5N2, the flu strain, in the backyard chicken and duck flock in Leavenworth County, Kansas. According to a statement issued on Friday, it is the first case in the central flyaway migration route, which stretches north-south from Montana to Texas. The same strain of the virus, which is deadly in poultry, has been found at commercial turkey farms in Minnesota, Missouri, and Arkansas. They line a neighboring migratory route called the Mississippi Flyway. Here's another one out of Reuters as well. U.S. bird experts mystified by Midwest avian flu spread. A virulent strain of avian flu has killed turkeys in the heart of the nation's poultry region, has been found through molecular testing to be nearly identical to viruses isolated in migratory ducks. But some wildlife experts are skeptical of suggestions that wild birds are responsible for spreading the H5N2 strain that has infected poultry. Top investigator for the U.S. Department of Agriculture says the testing performed by governments supports the conclusion the virus is being carried by waterfowl along the established migratory route that stretches from Minnesota to the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah. I remember a real false flag back in, what was it, 2000, 2001, with the foot and mouth that was a weaponized strain. It popped up in, like, I forget, like 50-something different areas from Scotland to southern England. It popped up everywhere. And it popped up the same week, and I said, clearly, foot and mouth, looking at how it spread, and the high kill rate this is having, this is weaponized. Well, it turned out, they said an environmental activist working at a lab had gotten it out and spread it with cohorts, but then nobody got in trouble. That's a cover, folks. They were going after rural communities trying to pass draconian laws. And I don't know if this is that, but a lot of the experts, when you read on, are saying this is popping up all over the country, and it's the same strain, and it's not even in migratory routes. This one is. And this doesn't add up. Well, we see a lot of industrial espionage, and it can be done by weirdo environmental groups or foreign governments or criminal groups in our government. When people say, are you against the government? I'm against how our government is just this wide open interface for corporations and other governments to create their own fifth columns inside of it and screw over the public. I mean, is it the government coming out with TVs that watch and listen to you? Well, yeah, government has let it happen. But it's beyond that. It's a corporate conspiracy against humanity and against free market and against choice, against free will. Stay with us. Your call's coming up.
Another major health threat, this one in Toledo, Ohio, where everybody in the entire city has been told not to drink the water.
Ohio's governor declaring a state of emergency.
Did you know that the average person uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water at home every single day? If there's a water emergency, will you be prepared?
Panicked residents forming long lines throughout the day.
We're here at a supermarket in Toledo. You can see the shelves empty where water once was.
To stay safe and healthy during a crisis, you must have access to safe, clean water. Water which will not be available at your local grocery store.
There's a mad dash on right now to stock up on supplies.
The ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system is a must-have for every modern, independently minded household. Protect your family's safety during an emergency. Go to InfoWarsStore.com today to purchase your ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system or call 1-888-253-3139.
With your friends.
KLN, Los Angeles. Clone Radio. We play the songs that sound more like everyone else than anyone else. Clone.
Hitler took the guns. Stalin took the guns. Mao took the guns. Fidel Castro took the guns. Hugo Chavez took the guns. 1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms. The Republic will rise again when you attempt to take our guns.
I have sworn upon the altar of God eternal hostility against every form of tyranny over the mind of man.
The answer to 1984 is 1776. You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central. We're here live, back Sundays live, 4 to 6 p.m. Central. I'm your host, Alex Jones. Thank you for joining us. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, because it ties into what's happening with South by Southwest and a lot of other issues, the legal case against internet rules and why the Hill experts, who've talked to a bunch of experts, believe that the law, well, it's not a law, that the regulations put forward outside of law are basically illegal and were not done properly. Exactly what I've been saying. But now we've had time to look over what's in this. And I was having arguments with people last night. I was saying, listen, there was a threat of big corporations to try to take over the internet and in net neutrality. But out of that fear, the FCC power grabbed it, and a lot of the same corporations will now go in to this whole regulatory nightmare where the FCC now claims jurisdiction over it, and you will see not just what they've currently done, but a bunch of other laws and regulations coming out within that framework to start chopping up the internet, taxing it, and tracking it, which is in the actual document that I covered on Friday in detail. It's 400 pages, not 330-something like we were told, and it is a bloody nightmare. That video is up on Infowars.com. It's titled, Confirmed FCC Takeover of the Internet. And the FCC is an agency that I've been on there 20 years. I've seen people deal with them. They put EAS kill switches in all your broadcast systems. There's an Obama kill switch, a government kill switch in the internet now. I mean, this is the takeover, folks. I'm going to say this real slow. Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton are both for this power grab. The Republican leadership could have stood in the way and said, we make the laws. They didn't. Now, the Republican leadership and the Democratic leadership like it. When they're run by the big globalist consolidators, do you think it's good? Oh, but you heard Obamacare was going to give you something free. Or a lottery ticket was going to give you something for free. All the immigrants coming here, the magnet, unlimited numbers. I mean, it's millions every few months now. And the government keeps those numbers secret, but has admitted recently there's something like 40 million illegals are getting ready to legalize. Came out in the news last year. Senator Sessions released it. They're preparing 40 million green cards, more than the populations of 3 Central American countries. I remember that headline. In fact, type that in. It was Guatemala and 2 others. I think it was Politico. It was government prepares more green cards than in 3 Central American countries. And then it listed them. 40 million. It was in the news last week that the illegals are going to get Social Security cards in 2016. Just, oh, you want a driver's license? Here it is. Go vote. And I'm not against these people, except it's a globalist plan to get them here with the freebies, then change the laws, take those away. There it is. Obama administration quietly prepares surge of millions of new immigrant IDs. That's Breitbart, but the one I saw was just incredible. So that's coming up. And that ties into South by Southwest. I've lived in Austin for 23 years. My mother's from Austin. Her parents are here, or my grandfather's dead. My grandmother's hanging on. Tough lady. And I've seen South by Southwest from its infancy. What is it, 26, 27 years old? I forget how old. Give me a Wikipedia on him, if you can, please. I know who started it. Lewis Black, fake name, whatever. Not the comedian. Guy's got a major axe to grind, make stuff about me constantly. If I wanted to sue him, I could many times over. But that's, and I know he listens because he writes about me almost every week, attacking me and making up more garbage. But long story short, he takes the David Cross approach, the big comedian who made a movie saying that I hate Jews and black people. You know what? He apologized to us this weekend. We're going to see if we can get him on the show because he knows that's a load of bull. He said his supporters are chewing him up.
Looks like it was 28 years ago.
It was 28 years ago it was founded. Yep. So 28 years ago it was founded. So I was here from the infancy when it was like Rick Linklater and people like that. It was true underground films, making it into the big time, giving them a national platform. It was musicians getting a national platform. It was interesting. And so the people that started, I think, you know, did something interesting. Did something that's laudable. I can say that of Lewis Black, owner of the Chronicle. But see, I live here, so I know the inside behind-the-scenes baseball. I know that if you own a coffee shop in South Austin, because I had my office next door to them, down on Mary Street, that they would actually send people from South by Southwest that work for it, threatening them with lawsuits, you name it, or worse. And then the cops would show up over music, but South by Southwest can blare it at any octave at once, and they would shut it down. I know filmmakers that would set up their own film festival with a blow-up screen and a deal, and then they would do the same thing. So a lot of what I would liken to gangsterish, underhanded, anti-free market type activities. We're going to go to break and come back with your calls on this subject. And then last year, I had a crew out handing out free magazines, InfoWars magazines. I had a street team, paid them like $5,000. It was a team of like 6, 7 people over 3 days to hand out 20,000 magazines. First it was going to be 5,000, then I expanded it. And South by Southwest complained, they admitted it, and sent out code enforcers to say, you can't hand out stuff in America. So see, I'm not going to spend all day on this. It isn't about me being violated by these people. It's about the fact that it's gone from being something that was grassroots to now one of the biggest, if not the biggest, interactive music film conferences in the world, because it combines all three, to a case where 100,000 plus people show up. And I was downtown today. I stay downtown part of the time. And I sit here and I watch these people desperately with all the money they've got. And I talk to them. In fact, I should do a video warning the average South by Southwest mark of what's happening. Hey, South by Southwest chump target. You know who muggers in New York target? A out-of-towner woman, generally. And they jump on you from behind, slam your head to concrete, and rob you. 3 thugs. Well, this is just a more sophisticated form of that, in my opinion, in my view. And so all they do is they advertise, this is where you strike it rich. Why, they found all sorts of goodies in the hills of California, and then everybody rushes out there for a gold rush. This is the exact type of garbage that we've seen over and over again. Now, continuing, it's that lottery ticket